So today we're going to go over how to find the volume of a rectangular prism. So make sure you have your notes in front of you. So this is a rectangular prism, and like all last week, we were figuring out the surface area of these. The surface area, if you remember, is when you find the area of all of the flat sides and then add them all up. So like the top, the bottom, the right, the left, the front, and the back. Volume is a little bit different. It's actually way faster to calculate. So the volume is the space inside of this figure. So it's like if you open the box, how much space is inside of it. Okay, so it's different because we're not finding the area of the spaces on the outside. We're finding the area of the space inside. To find the volume of a rectangular prism, all you need to do is multiply the three dimensions. So length times width times height in whatever order you want. Because you are multiplying three dimensions, you put a 3 over the label. So let's try this example. Let's pretend that this is 10. Put 10 meters. This is 2 meters, and this is 20 meters. Okay? All you need to do is multiply the three numbers in whatever order you want. Okay, so I'm going to do 20 times 2, which is 40, and then that answer times the last dimension. So times 10 is 400 meters cubed. Okay, so multiply two of the numbers, then take that answer and multiply it by the third number. All right. Here's how you would find a missing dimension. So we're going to do some of these in a little bit. Let's say that this is 10, this is 4, this I don't know what it is, so I'm going to put an H for height, but the volume of this rectangular prism is, let's see, 80 meters cubed. So we're doing it backwards now. We have 2 out of the 3 measurements, and we know what the volume is, so we have to find the missing number. So what you do is multiply what you have. So 10 times 4 is 40. 40 times something, h, has to equal our volume, which is 80. This is just a one-step equation. Instead of multiplying by 40, I'm going to divide by 40. So h equals 2. So the missing measurement is 2 meters. And then if you wanted to check that, 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 10 is 80, which is the answer you're supposed to get. So if you're trying to find the missing dimension, you multiply the two numbers that you do have, and whatever you have, get for an answer, you divide it by the volume. And that gives you your missing measurement. Okay, so I'm going to have you flip over your notes. We'll try some examples. I'm going to do the first one. I want you to try the second one. So the first one you can just watch. We're finding the volume, which is length times width times height. So you could start by multiplying whichever two you want. I'm just going to do 7/8 times 1/2. We are multiplying fractions, which means you do not need common denominators. You could check to see if you can cross cancel. There's nothing I can do, so I'm just going to multiply across. 7/16. Now I take that answer, 7/16, multiply it by the number I have left, 5/8. Again, nothing I can cross cancel. So I'm going to multiply across. I get 35. And on the bottom, 8 times 6 is 48. So 128. Okay? So that would be your final answer. So meters cubed. All right, so you guys are going to pause and try this one. So you multiply whatever two fractions you want first. Take your answer, multiply it by the third. So pause and try this one. Okay, I'm going to try one with mixed numbers just to remind everyone how to do this. Again, you can multiply in whatever order you want. So I'm going to do these two numbers first. You have to make them improper. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So I get 5/2. Times, this is mixed, so I have to make it improper. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 5/4. I can't cross cancel anything, so I'm going to multiply across. I get 25/8. I'm going to multiply that by 3/4, the final number. I can't cross cancel again, so I'm going to multiply out 75/32. This is improper. You can leave it improper. So feet cubed. Okay? You're going to try this one, although this one actually doesn't have any mixed numbers, so do the same thing we did before. So pick 2, multiply them, get your answer, multiply it by the third. So you guys try that one. All right, let's see if we can figure out a word problem. This one says 1 cubic foot of dirt weighs about 70 pounds. How many pounds of dirt can the dump truck haul when it is full? So these are kind of hard to see, but they have a 4 3/4. They have a 17 and they have an 8. Those are our dimensions. The first thing we have to do is find the volume. Volume is length times width times height. So you could do whatever numbers you want. I'm going to do 17 times 8 first because they're both whole numbers. So that's 56. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 5 is 13. Now I have to make this improper. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19, 19 fourths. I'm going to multiply that by this answer. So to write it as a fraction, we did this a while ago, write it over 1. I am going to cross cancel. I could divide these both by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 136 divided by 4, let's see. So that's going to be 3, which is 12, 16, so 34. Okay, and now I'm going to multiply across. So the denominator is obviously going to be 1. So over here, I'll do 19 times 34. It's 36. 7, start with a 0. 27, 5, add my 2 rows. I get 6, 14, and 6. So that means that the volume of this truck is 642 cubic feet. That's not my final answer. The question is saying, if 1 cubic foot of dirt weighs about 70 pounds, how many pounds of dirt can the dump truck haul? So the dump truck can haul 646 cubic feet, and each cubic foot is 70 pounds. So I'm going to do 646 times 70. I'm actually going to do times 7 and put a 0 at the end. So 42, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. 42 plus 3 is 45. Throw a 0 at the end. So 45,220 pounds of dirt would be your final answer. Okay. Down here, it says write and solve an equation to find the height of the computer tower. All right, so let's try one of these. This is the one that we were doing before on the notes. So we have the length, we have the width, we don't have the height. So to find the volume, you multiply length times width times height. So I'm going to multiply what we do have, which is 16 times 7. So that is 42. So I get 112. So what this means is 112 times the height, because it's this times this times this. This times this was 112. So 112 times the height has to give me the volume, which they're telling us is 1,792. So I'm going to solve this. Opposite of multiplying by 112, dividing by 112. So I'm going to do out that division. Okay, so let's say it's not going to go into 1, not going to go into 7. I'm going to go into this once. 112, 67, bring down the 2. I'm going to guess 6 times. Good guess. Okay. So that means my missing dimension is 16. Okay. So that's how you would write and solve. So let me give you a couple of these ones to try. You're going to do this mini assessment. So that means you're going to find the volume again. And the last one is the one where you do it backwards. You find the missing measurement. So multiply what you have. Then they're telling you that the area is 75. So once you multiply these two together, you're going to do 75 divided by whatever that is to get your final answer. Okay, so do all 3 of these. These are your last ones, and then you are good.